So imagine selling a book on health, your topic of expertise, for $3,000 or more. Is that even possible? Well, I want to give you something to think about today. One of the most common things I see in the health space are all these amazing health experts who want to write books. And if you don't want to write a book, that's totally fine. You don't have to. But there are many who do. And I've written 3 published books in my time. So published with like Hay House, Rodale, like actual publishing houses. And I've self-published many other books as well. But one of the things, I think one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they think that they're going to write a book and people are going to buy it. And that is one of the biggest fallacies I want you to avoid if you are considering of writing a book, whether it's self-published, published, ebook, whatever. Because the reality is this, guys, is I was having a conversation recently with someone and, she was looking to double her income over the next 12 months. And we're basically like, wow, what's the plan? And she's like, well, I want to get a book published, i.e. I want to get an advance or book royalties to make me a 6-figure income. And that's not how it works, because in this case, this individual had less than 500 followers on Instagram. So if they have less than 500 followers on Instagram, they probably don't have a huge following elsewhere, right? Like not a huge email list, etc. So I'm just going to share you the quick journey of publishing a book. Okay. And I'll just be very, very transparent with my numbers. So 2013, I had a book called Eating for Energy, which was an ebook at the time, which had been selling for many, many years on our websites, right? So we had hundreds of thousands of people on our email list and tens of thousands of customers, et cetera. And I was in a mastermind in which I met the CEO of Hay House, Reed Tracy, one of the most amazing guys ever. Not everyone has the luxury of being in the same room as the CEO of a publishing company. Okay. So number one, make sure you invest in yourself so you can put yourself in situations like that. So at the mastermind, I basically said, hey, Reed, we connected. I said, listen, I've got a great idea for a book. I have this book called Eating for Energy. We'll probably change the name, call it the All-Day Energy Diet and whatever. He's like, great, let's set up a time to talk this week and let's go for it. So spoke to him a couple of days later. He said, love the idea. And then basically that same day, he sent me a proposal for the book, and the advance was $75K. Okay. So a $75,000 advance for my first book. No agent, no history publishing books, but I did have several 100,000 people on YouTube, several 100,000 people on my email list, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I could show him that we were going to sell the book, because that's what publishers want to know. How many copies can you sell? Show me how you're going to do it. Because if you don't have a following, you are not going to get any amount of money for an advance. And they might give you an advance of $1,000, but I'm telling you, if you do not get a huge advance, it is not worth publishing a book, because the publishers are glorified printers and they're going to expect you to push the book more than anything else. Okay. So that book, we spent 9 months dialing in our marketing for that. 9 months. From the time I signed the contract in February or March of that year to September when it launched, maybe not 9 months, but 7 or 8 months, we were testing Facebook ads, funnels, everything, because we wanted to make sure that we could have partners promote the book and make a good deal of money. We wanted to make sure that we could run Facebook ads and actually make money on the book. And we did that. We spent 8 months and over $300,000 in marketing to make sure that we would hit number 1 on the New York Times list. When we launched, we hit number 2 on the New York Times list. Now, I'm sharing this with you because it's not a matter of writing a book and people are going to buy it. That's not how this works, guys. Okay. So unless you're willing to do what I'm about to share what I'm sharing with you here, don't write a book. I mean, write a book, keep it in the back burner until you have a huge following. But until then, don't do it. So anyways, the success of that first book allowed me to, I had 12 other publishers that were just banging on my door for the next book. Signed a 2-book deal with a 7-figure advance with Rodale. Okay. So that's the trajectory of the book publishing for my journey. Most people are not there. And I wouldn't even write, again, I'm not saying this is forever, but at this point in my life, I would not write another published book because it's just not worthwhile. The amount of time that it is required of you is insane to write and edit and go back and forth and all the nonsense. We have many people in our community who have these books, they're out there. They're selling 20 bucks, 30 bucks, a couple books a week. I'm like, how are you putting food on the table? So here's, like I talk about in our webinar, build your income, then your influence. So here's the deal with a $3,000 book. If you have a book that's 30 bucks, you have a protocol that's been mapped out. Turn that into a coaching program and sell it for $3,000. Here's why. Number one, you make more money. Okay. How many books would you have to sell to make $3,000? 100 books. How are you going to sell 100 books? You're going to need, assuming a 1% conversion rate, you're going to need 10,000 visitors on that book page. Where are you getting 10,000 people from? Right? Do the math, guys. Okay. It's ridiculous. So you turn the $30 book into a $3,000 coaching program, assuming obviously you can deliver results and you can get behind that. And the second piece is, why do you want to write a book? Well, I want to impact people's lives. Okay, great. Let's start with impacting your own life, which means fill up your cup. The best way to fill up your cup is by transforming other people's lives. Now, do we transform someone else's life by writing a book that they're never going to read? Or do we get them to pay premium prices and fully commit and show up to the outcome that they say they want? The answer is obvious. The less people pay, the less they pay attention. Someone who buys a $30 book is not committed. They're not going to show up. They're not going to do the work. And guess what? Next week, they're going to look for the next book. Instead, you want to say, here's the same plan that's in the book, right? The difference is that I'm going to be with you every step of the way. The difference is that because you're paying more, you're going to show up and do the work. The difference is that when you do the work, you're going to get the results. Okay. So when you say you want to impact clients, that's all that matters. Okay. It's not about like, I have followers and people liking my posts who don't even know you. It's about, have you fundamentally changed this person's life? And the only way to do that, guys, and I really hope you understand this, it is never going to come from information. It is never going to come from a book. It won't even come from a course, because statistically, 90% of people who start a course don't even finish it. I'm talking about online courses. So if 90% don't even finish, what is the success rate of like transformation of the person's health as a result? Like the 10% of people who do the work, maybe a fraction of those people actually get the results. Because again, there's a very big difference between clicking next, next, next on a computer and actually doing the work. So do not be confused by, I have a book, I'm transforming lives, right? That's all vanity, okay? You need to, and I'd strongly recommend this. If you want to write a book, amazing. Write a book down the road. For now, work with clients who are willing to step up and pay you. You transform their life, you make more money. The more money you make, the more you can invest in your marketing, the more people know about you, the more you build your following, your email list, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The more people work with you. I call this the impact, income, influence cycle, okay? You have your expertise, you work with people who pay you money. Again, not $100, premium price coaching program. You transform their health, their life. They're like, oh my God, you're the best. You have social proof. You feed that into the marketing and it goes and it goes and it goes over and over and over again. And in a couple of years, when you have hundreds of thousands of followers or hundreds of thousands of people on your email list, and everyone knows you as the best in the industry, at that point, then you can look at launching your book, because now you have raving fans, a tribe of people who will buy your book, even outside of, like if you did no external promotions with joint venture partners, just your own tribe. And that's my recommendation, okay? Do not write a book because you think it's going to make you money. Write a book because you want to, give it away for free. It's what I always say, like sell premium price and then give everything underneath that away for free. I don't charge for anything under our HBA program. Do you think it's worth my while or our team's while to charge $97 for some course and deal with customer service nightmares forever? No way. We played with some of that stuff a while ago. We're like, no, it's not even worth it. HBA, luminaries, everything underneath those two is free because it's not even worth our while. And that's the model I recommend for almost every single service provider, because otherwise you have way too much complexity in your business. You don't get the results you want and you spend too much time spinning 1,000 different plates. Okay. So that's the $3,000 book. It's taking the idea of a book, you turn it into a coaching program, you slap on a couple zeros, you transform the person's life, and you get the outcome which you want, which is transforming people's lives, and you make more money in the process. A couple years down the road, then you can write your book. Okay? If you enjoy this, give it a thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. And I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Ciao, guys.